Hi, I'm Becca. Welcome to Hinge Vintage Goods. We'll be talking about what sold this week. We will start with this child's sweatshirt. Sold in about 6 months. It did take a while, but that seems to be the way it goes with children's clothing. This was actually an item that I had as a child. My kids wore it to Disneyland for their first trip, and I decided it was time for it to go on to somebody else who could use it. Sold for $35. The next item is this baby Lovey. I actually pick up blankets like this for our guinea pigs, but generally the ones that are like from Target, the Target brand. So I picked this up because I thought it was that, and then got looking at it and realized that it looked nicer, and looked up the brand and found that they sold for a good profit. I got it for $2, and it sold in about a week. The next item is this vintage child's book. It did have some damage in it. The inner cover had some tears. It was noted in the description. I picked this up as part of an estate sale online auction. I got an entire box of vintage and antique children's books for $10. It worked out to this one costing me about 50 cents. It sold incredibly quickly in a day. Next we have some clothing. This is a new area for me. I'm still learning. I picked this up at a local thrift store for $7, and it sold in about a month for $25. It was in excellent condition. It didn't look like it was hardly ever worn. I picked it up initially just because of the plaid pattern, and it just looked like something that somebody would be interested in. Like I said, I'm still learning clothing, and I'm not much into fashion, so I don't have any basic knowledge base either. So I just used eBay to look up comps. Next we have this Christmas Santa in a chimney figurine. I got it because it was weird. Has like pine boughs sticking out of it with little ornaments on it, and his arms move. It's not necessarily something I would recommend picking up. I had it for a long time, and it only sold for $16. Next is another article of clothing. Honestly, until I bought this, I had never seen a short sleeve jacket. I didn't know that such a thing existed. I'm always cold, so that makes zero sense to me, but that's okay. I got it because it was 3XL, because it was something I'd never seen before, and because I got it for a really good price. The thrift store that I was in was having 70% off all outerwear, so I got it for about $2, and it sold in about a week for $20. Next is this mid-century modern Siamese cat lantern. It reminded me of McCoy, but I could not confirm that it was. But the style of it and just how cool it was made me buy it anyway. I did pay up for it. I paid $35, but it sold in a day for $100. Another article of clothing. I am having way more luck with men's clothing as I learn about things. This was a reversible sweatshirt or sweater by Bahama. It was a medium, I think. There was no tags because it's reversible. And it sold in about 2 weeks for $40. I paid $3.50. Next is this turtle figurine pottery. It's Native American pottery. Very cool. They get the variations in color by putting horsehair over the item before they put it in the kiln and fire it, and the hair burns those patterns into the pottery. This one was signed. I always try to figure out the signatures if I can. Sometimes it's hard. But I picked this up at a garage sale in the summer, so I've had it a while. It actually sold very quickly, and then the buyer asked to cancel the sale, and it went back up. So anyway, but it sold for $40, and I got it for $1, I believe. This next item is probably one of my best sales ever. I picked it up at an estate sale during their 70% off day for $3. I was excited about it when I got it because I have sold this pottery brand before, Muncie, I believe is how you say it, and for good money. But I had no idea that these sold for this much. I got it home, started doing some research, and could not believe what they were going for. I could not find this item in this color, so I knew that it was extremely rare. It was listed for all of 3 days before it sold for $450. And the last eBay sale for this week is this Star Wars Obi-Wan Starfighter. This was actually an item that belonged to my brother, and he decided he was ready to part with it. I sold it on consignment for him, so I did not see all of the profit from this, but it sold in about a week for $50. Next, we'll do the Etsy sales. Sold this pair of brass wall pockets for $20. They sold very quickly, about 3 days. I picked them up at an estate sale for $2. Next were these really cool brass etched decorative plates. Figured somebody would enjoy those to add to their basket wall or gallery wall. I got them at an estate sale for $6. They sold, I believe, in under a week for $22. Next is this alabaster stone tea light holder. I got it in a baggie of items from the thrift store. There were quite a few other items in there that I also thought would sell well, so I spent about 50 cents on this, and it sold for $15 in about a week. These napkin rings also sold. I got them for $1.50. They were in a bag with a lot of napkin rings, and I just thought that they were really cool. Their slanted shape and the minimalist kind of style made them look very mid-century. I do well with napkin rings. I almost always sell them if they're interesting. These sold for $15. I got this item at an antique mall for $5. They were having a sale. Got a good deal on it. It sold in about 3 weeks for $30. Next was this fabric from a big bag that I got at a garage sale. This is the last piece from that bag, and I believe that it worked out to being about 10 cents per piece of fabric. I sold this for $15. This Tanala hand-painted vase sold as well. I got it for $3 and it sold for $20 in 6 days. This little brass bell with a mouse on top was in that bag that I talked about earlier with the rock tea light holder. It sold for $10 in 3 days. And yet another item that was in that bag. This is a ceramic Clover. I believe actually it was originally a lid to a trinket box and somebody put a pin on the back to turn it into a brooch. Still very cool, perfect for St. Patrick's Day, which this sold before St. Patrick's Day for $12.